Nobody was expecting me to be on this team. Honestly, we know what the views are of this organization from the outside. But I knew enough people in it to know that we could do something special and that we could potentially change some minds and some views. And
When Sydney Colson decided to leave the Las Vegas Aces, the entire WNBA establishment was stunned. She walked away from a championship dynasty, from being A'ja Wilson's best friend, and from guaranteed success. But what she revealed in her latest interview changes everything about how we see her, the Indiana Fever, and Caitlin Clark. This wasn't about rejecting anyone. It was about answering a calling. Colson saw something in Indiana that nobody else did, and her faith in this young team is about to rewrite the Fever's entire future and put the WNBA old guard in its place. Do you stand with Sid and Caitlin? Then let us know down in the comments below.
Let's start first with just the special season you guys have had with the Indiana Fever this year. I think it can be summed up by your end of season Instagram post. Let's take a look at this post from you, Sid. And in the in the caption, you said, "Genuinely enjoyed this team and what we did on the court and in the showers." You're so silly. "I knew in the off season that God was placing me where I needed to be to grow and learn some necessary lessons. And that's exactly what happened."
So what does a player with 2 championship rings think about when she's offered a chance to leave it all behind? The past offseason presented Sydney Colson with a choice that genuinely surprised people around the league. The Las Vegas Aces offered a clear path to more championships, a familiar system, and the comfort of playing alongside her best friend, A'ja Wilson. It was the safe bet. But then the phone rang, and it was the Indiana Fever's front office. General Manager Amber Cox and head coach Stephanie White were on the line, and they presented a different kind of opportunity entirely. This wasn't just another contract negotiation. It was an invitation to become part of something being built from the ground up.
There's clearly so much love for your team. There's a huge free agency on the way. This roster may not ever look the same again. So for you, like, what made this team so special and one to remember in your career?
You know, in the off season, it was obviously like a tough decision for me. I've been with the Aces for so long, and we did some amazing things together as a team. And like I said in the post, I could just feel, God. When you could just feel like you need to get uncomfortable, or like you're being pushed in a direction, and because it makes you uncomfortable, kind of don't want to do it.
Colson later described this moment as a profound leap of faith. She felt she was being guided to a place where she needed to be for her own growth, to learn necessary lessons. This aligns with a pattern we see across sports, where veteran players sometimes seek roles where their leadership can have a maximum cultural impact, rather than just chasing another ring on a stacked roster. The public narrative immediately assumed this move was about money, or a guarantee of more minutes on the court.
I think the older I've gotten, the stronger my faith has gotten. I run to the uncomfortable, honestly, because I know on the other side there's gonna be some lesson that I needed, and that was what happened this season.
The Fever's front office had a very deliberate strategy. They targeted Colson early in free agency, specifically for her personality and her ability to catalyze a young team's development. Amber Cox said they wanted someone who could lead the team and bring a lot of fun and levity to the locker room. They recognized her value as a culture setter, a 2-time champion who could instill a winning mentality in a developing roster. So what was the real reason she picked up the phone and said yes to Indiana? Colson framed it as a spiritual and personal necessity.
Nobody was expecting me to be on this team. Honestly, we know what the views are of this organization from the outside. But I knew enough people in it to know that we could do something special and that we could potentially change some minds and some views. And
it was a step into discomfort guided by faith, not a simple basketball calculation. She saw it as a chance to change minds about the Fever organization and to do something special. This single decision set the stage for a chain of events that would completely redefine her career and the entire identity of the Indiana Fever. The news of Sydney Colson's move to Indiana sent genuine shockwaves through the league. She wasn't just another free agent switching teams. She was A'ja Wilson's best friend, a core part of the Aces championship culture. Her departure from Las Vegas immediately created a conflict against the WNBA old guard.
I mean, when you put yourself out there, you also put yourself out there to haters. So how do you handle that aspect of it?
Oh man, I used to just troll them back because like there's nothing that you can say about me that'll hurt my feelings. Like I literally do not know you, and some of the responses are bots. You know, for me to get my feelings hurt by people, I gotta respect you. I gotta value your opinion. A lot of things go into it.
Colson's decision was interpreted by some as a quiet betrayal of that established order. Given her incredibly close friendship with Wilson, a symbol of the veteran core, her choice to join Clark's team felt like a significant statement. The narrative suggested that no veteran would want to play with Caitlin Clark, framing the Fever as an undesirable destination. This set up an expectation for how Colson should behave upon her arrival.
So like you being a stranger, I could care less about you talking about how many points I scored, minutes. I don't care.
No, they'll see you and ask for a picture, you know? But you haven't shied away from it.
But Colson's first actions in Indiana directly confronted this narrative head-on. Instead of keeping her distance or making vague comments, she embraced her new teammate with genuine enthusiasm. During her introductory press conference, she described the situation as nuts and special. She pointed to the economic impact Clark had already brought to Indianapolis, noting people were traveling from out of state and even out of the country to see games.
And I loved seeing you and Caitlin Clark's relationship. You know, you guys are always cracking jokes on social media, on your live. And obviously she's a game-changing player for the league. So like, what has it been like, you know, getting to know her humor, and seeing firsthand all that's coming her way?
It was cool being on a team with her, getting to see her in another light. Was really cool.
By immediately embracing Clark and the Fever's project, Colson rejected the anti-Clark narrative that the league's establishment seemed to expect. She set a tone of unity that would prove crucial for the team's chemistry moving forward. Once Colson arrived in Indiana, she gained a front-row seat to the Caitlin Clark phenomenon. But her perspective was different from everyone else's. It was shaped by years of professional experience and 2 championship rings. While the public saw a scoring machine and a media sensation, Colson observed the immense pressure and the young woman underneath the spotlight. She saw Clark in another light, noticing the significant weight she carried simply as a person entering the league with unprecedented attention.
Over the course of her career, I think, you know, we haven't had many instances where we've seen like Caitlin, Angel, Paige, like players come in with the sort of notoriety that they had, the sort of money that they're making, the attention, everything. It's a lot for a young person to be dealing with, on top of pressure to do well as a basketball player, to lead your teams, all of that. So it was good to be able to see like a lighter side of her. You know, I think
Colson described the experience as cool because it allowed her to see a lighter side of Clark. She acknowledged that players like Clark, Angel Reese, and Paige Buchers arrive with a level of notoriety and financial resources that is a lot for any young person to handle. The transition to professional sports is mentally taxing for any young player, but it's exponentially harder when you have massive expectations placed on you before you even step on the court. Veteran mentorship becomes critical for navigating this unique pressure, and Colson stepped into that role naturally.
Unfortunately, when she was injured, you're having to adjust your mindset. You're having to get mentally tougher because I think she'd had like a bad injury before. So now you're having to watch your team from the outside and still, you know, I would be talking to her a lot about, you know, make sure you're still being vocal. You know, you don't want to lose this time with your teammates, and because you're injured or sidelined, you're not still using the opportunity to lead or to grow relationships. Don't let it be a wasted season just because you can't physically contribute.
When Clark's season was suddenly derailed by injury, Colson's purpose on the team shifted. It became less about on-court play and more about off-court leadership. Injuries can easily isolate a player from the team's daily rhythm, so active efforts from teammates to keep an injured player engaged are a true hallmark of a strong team culture. Colson recognized that Clark, who hadn't faced significant injuries before, now had to adapt her mindset and build mental toughness from the sidelines.
Her desire to become a better leader and to come back, because there were times where maybe, she thought she was coming back and then it wasn't happening, or another little thing would happen that turned into a big thing. But to see her fun side, I think that was the most important part, to see her being jovial and lighthearted and having fun with her teammates. I don't think was like a side that people saw a lot last season. And so I would just be telling her more of that.
So what was the specific guidance Colson offered during this challenging time? Their conversations frequently centered on leadership. Colson urged Clark to use her voice, even when she couldn't use her body. She emphasized that Clark's value to the team extended far beyond her physical play. The goal was to ensure that the time away from the court was not a wasted season for Clark's development. Colson focused on helping her strengthen relationships with teammates and continue her growth as a leader. She saw Clark's clear desire to become a better leader and worked to help her channel that. This mentorship, focusing on the intangible aspects of the game, became a defining element of the Fever's season. It proved that leadership isn't always reflected in the stat sheet, but in how you support your team when you can't physically contribute.
We did something really special for us to have been together for just a matter of months and not fully healthy, everybody at the same time. So it was fun. It was really fun. And I think the Commissioner's Cup championship gave us even more confidence that we could go on and win a championship. And I think we would have had we stayed healthy.
With Caitlin Clark sidelined by injury, the Indiana Fever's season could have easily fallen apart. Instead, it became the ultimate test of the culture Sydney Colson and the other veterans were specifically hired to build. The team faced adversity from multiple angles: mounting losses, constant external scrutiny, and the ongoing challenge of integrating new players into the system because of the injuries.
People pointed to your voice as one in the locker room that everyone listened to, that you were one of the main leaders for the team. People trusted you. Taking on that role, what was it like trying to overcome some of the hurdles? And was there a hurdle this season that you guys that rocked y'all, almost was so tough to really stay together from?
The pressure was immense, but Colson's approach provided a crucial counterbalance. Her leadership was rooted in humor and authenticity. She actively fostered a locker room environment where players felt comfortable being themselves, using laughter as a practical tool to manage the stress of a difficult season. This focus on creating psychological safety and strong social bonds is directly correlated with better team performance and resilience during tough stretches. When players feel supported by their teammates, they are more likely to take risks and push through challenges.
From the outside, I think everybody can see the different types of adversity that hit our team. And I don't know, we just found a way. We got a lot of personalities on our team and there's a lot of joking around. So when hard times were hitting, we were just making jokes, laughing, because honestly, some stuff was just, what can you do? What can you say about some stuff? You just gotta get closer together, and I think we did that. I think it showed in our play, and the environment was positive.
The ultimate test of this new culture arrived when Colson herself suffered a major setback, a torn ACL. This moment could have shattered the team's morale, losing one of its primary leaders and culture setters. But the team's response proved everything had changed. Instead of fracturing, the team rallied around her with unwavering support and the same spirit of humor she had championed from day one. This resilience, born from genuine connection and a shared commitment, became the team's defining trademark. It carried them through the rest of the season and solidified their identity as a group that wouldn't break under pressure, setting a powerful foundation for the future.
We got plagued with injuries, but even though the injured players, we still tried to make it a point to be around for practices, to still be lending our voices, to give whatever advice and wisdom we could, even though we weren't able-bodied,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, it seemed like humor was therapy for you guys.
A new platform in Indiana. Sydney Colson's value to the Indiana Fever extended far beyond the locker room or any stat sheet. Her personality and her unique story became a genuine asset to the organization. In Las Vegas, she was a key piece on a roster filled with established stars. But in Indiana, she became a central figure in one of the league's most compelling narratives. This shift in position translated into real, tangible opportunities that simply weren't available to her before.
You are captivating. You are funny. The way people are consuming the WNBA is changing and evolving. So now, my girl, you got commercials with TJ Maxx, Ally, Deloitte, Kia, DirecTV. You're doing commercials with Diana Taurasi, Brianna Stewart, Paige Beckers. Like, how have you found your lane to crack open and break through the zeitgeist? And literally, like, it's not something funny. You are one of the faces of the league.
This increased visibility led to national commercials and brand partnerships with major companies like TJ Maxx and Ally. By placing herself at the heart of the Fever's rebuild and the Caitlin Clark story, Colson's profile received a significant boost. Brands looking to connect with the WNBA's rapidly expanding audience saw her as the perfect ambassador.
I'm me everywhere I go. I think authenticity is gonna always get you where you need to be, even if it's not what you pictured. And a lot of mine just happens to be forward facing, but a lot of that can be attributed to like our showrunner, our director for the Sid and TP show.
Mm-hmm.
Carly, they came up with the idea for TP and I to be the faces of the league. And
her role allowed her to showcase her basketball IQ and her personality, leading to more media appearances and even her own show, Unsupervised, with TP. She participated in commercials alongside established stars like Diana Taurasi and Brianna Stewart. This off-court success underscored a larger point about what the Fever are building.
Like, we love self-deprecating humor. We're totally okay with what our paths have looked like in the WNBA, because while I love basketball, it's not my everything. Like, I'm a multifaceted person, so if basketball hasn't gone the way that I thought it would go, like, that's okay. Like, I've still been in a very blessed position, and one that I'm very fortunate for. A lot of minutes are not. Like, it's been a real treat to be in the W for this long. I can't say that I expected this.
So how did this move unlock such significant opportunities? By joining a team on the rise with a massive national profile, Colson positioned herself at the very center of the WNBA's current growth story. The Fever, amplified by Clark's arrival, created an economic and media impact that benefited every player on the roster. Brands wanted to be part of that momentum, and Colson's authentic presence made her an ideal partner. Her journey proved that betting on the Indiana Fever was essentially a bet on the future of the entire league.
So to see that really turn into us being the faces of the league, I hope that it's inspiring to people to just bet on yourself and like make yourself a brand, like be authentic, stay true to it, and like the people that are supposed to find you will find you.
Sydney Colson's decision was always about more than basketball. It made a clear statement about the direction of the league and who gets to shape its future. The Indiana Fever, built around Colson's steady leadership and Caitlin Clark's generational talent, are creating a new blueprint for success. This team represents a sustainable model that blends veteran wisdom with young stars. Colson herself has spoken about her enjoyment of the relationship aspect of the game, hinting at a potential future in coaching. With a core built for the long term, the foundation is firmly in place. The 2026 season truly can arrive soon enough. Do you stand with Sid and Caitlin? Then let us know down in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.